Begin each day. Begin each day by telling yourself, today I shall be meeting with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness. All of them due to the offender's ignorance of what is good or evil. But for my part, I have long perceived the nature of good and its nobility, the nature of evil and its meanness, and also the nature of the culprit himself, who is my brother. Not in the physical sense, but as a fellow creature similarly endowed with reason and a share of the divine. Therefore, none of those things can injure me, for nobody can implicate me in what is degrading. Neither can I be angry with my brother, or fall foul of him, for he and I were born to work together, like a man's two hands, feet, or eyelids, or the upper and lower rows of his teeth. To obstruct each other is against nature's law. And what is irritation or aversion but a form of obstruction?
The day is gone and all the sweets are gone. Sweet voice, sweet lips, soft hand and softer breast. Warm breath, light whisper, tender summer tone. Bright eyes, accomplished shape and languorous waist. Faded the flower and all its budded charms. Faded the sight of beauty from my eyes. Faded the shape of beauty from my arms. Faded the voice, warmth, whiteness, paradise. Vanished unseasonably at shut of eve. When the dusk holiday or holy night, a fragrant curtain love begins to weave, the woof of darkness thick for hid delight. But as I read love's missal through today, he'll let me sleep, seeing I fast and pray.
Sidney turned his eyes again upon the fire, and after a silence of a few moments said, "I should like to ask you, does your childhood seem far off? Do the days when you sat at your mother's knees seem days very long ago?" Responding to his softened manner, Mr. Lorry answered, 20 years back, yes. At this time of my life, no. For as I draw closer and closer to the end, I travel in the circle, nearer and nearer to the beginning. It seems to be one of the kind smoothings and preparings of the way. My heart is touched now by many remembrances that had long fallen asleep of my pretty young mother, and I so old, and by many associations of the days when what we call the world was not so real with me, and my faults were not confirmed in me. "I understand the feeling," exclaimed Carton with a bright flush. "And you are the better for it?" "I hope so."
Yes, love. But not the love that loves for something, to gain something, or because of something. But that love that I felt for the first time, when dying I saw my enemy and yet loved him. I knew that feeling of love which is the essence of the soul, for which no object is needed. And I know that blissful feeling now, too. To love one's neighbors, to love one's enemies, to love everything, to love God in all his manifestations. Someone dear to one can be loved with human love, but an enemy can only be loved with divine love. And that was why I felt such joy when I felt that I loved that man. What happened to him? Is he still alive? Loving with human love, one may pass from love to hatred. But divine love cannot change. Nothing, not even death, can shatter it. It is the very nature of the soul. And how many people I have hated in my life. And of all people, none I have loved and hated more than her. If it were only possible for me to see her once more. Once looking into those eyes to say,
"Watch and pray, dear. Never get tired of trying, and never think it is impossible to conquer your fault," said Miss March, drawing the blowsy head to her shoulder, and kissing the wet cheek so tenderly that Joe cried even harder. "You don't know. You can't guess how bad it is. It seems as if I could do anything when I'm in a passion. I get so savage, I could hurt anyone and enjoy it. I'm afraid I shall do something dreadful some day, and spoil my life, and make everybody hate me. Oh, Mother, help me. Do help me." "I will, my child, I will. Don't cry so bitterly. But remember this day, and resolve with all your soul that you will never know another like it. Joe, dear, we all have our temptations, some far greater than yours, and it often takes us all of our lives to conquer them. You think your temper is the worst in the world, but mine used to be just like it." "Yours, Mother? Why, you are never angry." And for a moment Joe forgot remorse in surprise. "I've been trying to cure it for 40 years, and have only succeeded in controlling it. I am angry nearly every day of my life, Joe, but I have learned not to show it, and I still hope to learn not to feel it, though it may take me another 40 years to do so." The patience and humility of the face she loved so well was a better lesson to Joe than the wisest lecture, the sharpest reproof. She felt comforted at once by the sympathy and confidence given her. The knowledge that her mother had a fault like hers, and tried to mend it, made her own easier to bear and strengthened her resolution to cure it. Though 40 years seemed a rather long time to watch and to pray a girl of 15.